Alright, so here's the printer. I'm gonna get my phone set up so I'm ready to go with the chat here because it's hard to look that way at my screen while I am setting up the printer. So give me just 1 second, we'll let some people pop on and we will be ready to roll here in just a minute. All right, I see Sergeant, as usual, is the first one in here. He'd like me to give a shout out to his buddy Jordan. Is that your real brother, man? Or just your buddy? He's a member of our Discord, goes by Call of Duty MW. Pretty good guy, I've seen some of his posts. Well, what's up, Jordan? How's it going? Hope you get to pop in and see what's up with this new printer. I'm really, really excited to try this. To be honest, I had never heard of this company before they contacted me a couple weeks ago. And looking through their catalog, they have quite a few printers. And this is their smallest FDM machine, comparable in size to the Ender 3 and the Anet ET4, ET4X machines like that. They also have a D3 and a D5, which both increase in size. And I'm hoping to get my hands on those here eventually. But what I really want to see is their resin printer, because it has a really, really interesting case where it doesn't lift off the top, it folds up from the front. And I think that might be a little bit more convenient than having to take the orange cover off and set it to the side all the time. So, brother-in-law. All right, it's the wife's bro. Right on. Well, like I said, glad to have you here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and finish setting up my chat here, so I'm ready to go. Won't be long here. I think we'll wait for maybe a couple more people to join the stream before we actually bust the box open. So, gonna have to have a little bit of patience with me today. I am not in any hurry, as you'll probably notice. 1 second here. Yeah, I know it doesn't take this long to log in, but I am doing some other stuff too. What's up, Jake? How's it going, man? Nice to meet you. Glad to have you here. Hope you're looking forward to a pretty sweet unboxing. I have seen some pictures of this thing, and it does look pretty decent. So, pretty excited to fire it up. I don't know, can you see the, there's no picture on that side. There is one on this side. I think we can get away with showing that since my address is public anyway. If you take a look, you'll see basically the shape is very, very similar to the Ender 3, with the exception of the base being a little bit more like the ET4. So, last little click here, and we will bust this guy open. Just 1 second. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to keep this guy open here so I can hang out with the live chat as well. We can definitely jump over and check that piece out before the stream is over. Actually, in fact, you know, that's actually a great idea. While we're waiting for a couple more people, let's jump over and take a look at that part you're talking about, because now I'm curious. So, remote control car, is that what we're talking? Let's see, pop onto the Discord. If you guys don't have, if you're not a member of our Discord, I will drop the link here in a minute. If not, you can hit up Sergeant. He'll let you know what it is, and we will see you on the Discord. We've had a lot of people joining lately, and it's really nice to see the community kind of evolving, and everybody is pretty much there to help, and a lot of really good guys to chat with. So it's really fun place to be. So let me jump over here. And we're going to switch to, let me remember how to do this. I don't think I stream enough to remember how to work my equipment. Let's see, left screen. Okay. Position. All right, so which one are we looking at, Sarge? This is our Discord. Server's getting pretty active. Sergeant Kill, as you can see, is basically the one on top of all the things here in the server. He does a lot of work for me. He also has his own YouTube channel. We'll put a link up for that as well. You should definitely check it out. He is a big Prusa guy. I don't have a Prusa yet. He rocks a Prusa Mini, and he was showing me some pretty cool stuff earlier that I think some people would like to see. We're going to go over to our general 3D printing chat. And it looks like we got some RC parts here. Alright, so nice. Hey, what happened to this little tabby here? That's pretty nice, man. Yours is the white one, the replica there. That's not bad at all. Alright, so let's see here. He crashed the car. Ah, yeah, that's why you need to get new pieces made, huh? Alright, we're back. We do quite often pop over to the Discord during live streams when we get kind of bored and check out things that are going on there because I find it very interesting, and like I said, those guys are pretty active. They help me out quite a bit. Should we open it? Let's do this. Normally I open my box from the bottom so I can slide it off the top. I'm feeling kind of froggy today though, so we'll just do it the regular way and leap right in. Noticed a lot of new manufacturers getting into the printing game, and I've seen some pretty interesting machines. The thing that makes me leery about most of them is that you never really know what you're going to get. Some brands are tried and true, but then again, even Creality has their issues. You may have seen or heard some of the issues that people have been having with the CR6SE, their Kickstarter printer. So I just want to point out that nobody is perfect. Except Prusa, if you ask Sergeant. But, you know, I haven't tried one of those yet. Ooh, you know, this don't look bad at all. So, okay, we're going to slide that over here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this right off. And we'll lift the pieces onto the table so you guys can see what's going on. Actually, I don't need this box. Let's do this. Like I said, I'm feeling kind of feisty today. Maybe I just want to break some stuff. Hopefully not the printer, but the box would be fine. All right. Yes, customer service with Prusa is top-notch. They have a very big name in the printing industry, and they really can't afford to let it get sullied. So when they have issues, they tend to take care of them right away. I've heard nothing but good things about them. I did see one guy complaining about issues he was having with his Mini, but that seemed to be a one-time thing. A lot of times when you see people having problems with printers, it's user error, sad to say. So some people... Oh, that's interesting. Don't take the time to properly follow all the directions, get everything set up the way they need to be, and then they get upset. Is this the spool hold? That's interesting. Okay, so I can't get this guy out without removing the whole thing. So we're going to take the base. There we go. Toss that aside. And... Alright, so let's see what's in the box. magnetic mat. Nice Mingda logo. This is pretty heavy duty. It's really thick. Should work nice. Pretty similar to the magnetic mat on the Ender 3 Pro. And I did have a pretty good experience with that. So that's a nice surface to see. Although I will say, that surface they put on the polycarbonate glass bed on the Ender 3 version 2 is amazing. So that's definitely my new favorite print surface. Looks like we got a little PLA sample. This is 10 meters of what looks like skin color, honestly. That's not bad. I don't have any of that color at the moment. Wrench, nozzle clearing needle. The shortest, cutest Bowden tube I've ever seen. Cable. Wow. Okay, this is cool. This is the micro SD card, the USB side, and it takes two different kinds of SD card and the micro. So this is actually really cool. I like this. It's very, very multi-purpose. We are using the large SD card like the Tevo Tarantula Pro. This is a 4 gig, comes with the machine. That'll work well. And obviously we have our clippers, scraper, pretty much the usual kit for 3D printing. Although this is new. Alright, so check this out. This is a funky wrench that is actually a pretty cool tool. This is actually a nozzle wrench, which you don't normally when you get something to remove the nozzle, it'll be a little bit of a more flimsy stamped out wrench like this, and this is pretty heavy duty, so I like this. I think that'll come in handy as well. And then of course the Allen keys that are pretty usual. We have a spare nozzle. We have some T-shaped spacers. I'm sure we'll need those as we come across the instructions. We have our machine screws, and this must be the spool holder. There's a very interesting spool holder here. We'll just go ahead and screw this on. I'm not sure that this is going to stay on the printer, to be honest, because... Oh, wow. Yeah, this is going to get funky, guys. This is not quite like all the other builds that I've done. It should be fairly simple, but the machine is a little bit different from what I'm seeing now, so... I'm not sure this spool holder is going to be long enough to hold some of the spools that I have. So we'll just kind of have to roll with it and see what happens. I'm going to jump back over to make sure I'm not missing too much chat here. Oh, yeah. So, it does. It looks like they took some features from different printers and kind of went with what worked for them. So let's get some of the pieces out here. Here's the hot end. Take out the frame and the gantry here. Looks like it is a dual Z. This has got my eye here. Well, we'll check that out in just a minute. So we have some cordage here, and the hot end. This hot end is kind of heavy duty. There's the power cable. Check this out here in just a second. I lost a wheel off the bed leveling knob here. Obviously, we'll need that to do some leveling. Cable management looks pretty decent. These are the clips for my two Z motors. This got to be an end stop. It looks like there is a button here. Is that the actual end stop itself? Yeah. Okay, so these are kind of funky. Not the first time I've seen these, but you don't see them very often, where they have little caps instead of just the levers. So that's interesting. Let's throw this on here. And, ooh, definitely some play in the bed. I think that's because these guys aren't screwed on. I would say that, you know, looking right off the bat, there's no instructions in this box, but to be honest, I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. Because it looks like we're looking at maybe 4 bolts to put this thing together, so not quite sure what's going on here though. So obviously the hot end is going to mount to this. Let's see. Just kind of get an idea of what's going on here before I go too far. Interesting setup we have here. Okay, so let's see what they gave us for machine screws. Those would be the 4 for the base. Let's see here. Take this up like this. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is going to take me a minute to figure out. Like I said, there's no instructions, and this is a pretty funky assembly. I'm very curious to see how it works. We're going to set this down here for just a second. And I'm thinking that this is where these T-plates go. But I'm not sure. Don't think that's right. All right, I'm really confused here, guys. There's nothing in this box in the way of instructions. So we're just gonna wing it, I guess. Let's see here. Can't screw up into that. Hot end mount's going to be there. That'll go from the back. So obviously this does go here. It looks like we're going to have to remove the bottom cover to get access to those bolt holes. So that's where we need to start. A lot of screws just to get that apart to assemble this. Alright, well, if all else fails, odds are good that there is some sort of instructions on this disc here. So, this thing looks like a lighter. Let's go ahead and stick it in the old PC and see what we get. Let's jump over to screen view here. See if this is any help at all as far as doing what we need to do here. Gotta find a USB port I can plug into without causing issues, so hang on a second. Okay. we're just gonna have to lose this for a second here. I'll fix it. All right. Let's transition to my left screen here. Let's see if there's anything helpful on here at all. Completely empty. Oh wait, no. Here we go. D2 guidebook. All right, let's check it out. Maybe. Open sesame. All right. So, this is very interesting. So, that fan is heavy duty. Pretty good idea of how this is going to mount. That's not really the issue. All right, so here we are. Top quality, a 3D printer, it says. User guide, introduction, safety precaution. Oh. Let's see what. I did see the power supply in here, but it looks like there's no access to change the voltage, so hopefully it's set properly. It's the first time I've seen them say to turn off the printer during a turn off the printer and unplug the power cord from the electrical outlet under the following conditions. 1. The printer emits smoke or emits an abnormal smoke. Well, yeah, if the thing starts smoking, I'm definitely not going to leave it plugged in. We need to get over to the instructions, and my freaking computer is locking up because I have no memory. Getting really sick of this thing. Okay. Man, that just does not make me comfortable. So these actually are going to go on here and bolt into the frame from the side. That much I've gathered. So, let's see what's going on here. Hey Corey, good to see ya. Waiting for the XL. Ooh, I want to see that when you get it. Yeah, I can fix the volume, sorry. I didn't realize I had it turned down. There we go. Is that better? Should be. Hopefully it's not too loud now. I mean, I'm basically just hanging out here mumbling anyway, so you're not missing much. I think I figured out mostly how this goes together, but I still need to see... No, I don't want to start with the pour. Okay. So, filament holder. Okay, there's a filament runout switch. What? Okay, so here you see... Okay. So the Bowden's going to go... Oh, it's a direct drive. I should have noticed that from the extruder being on there. So technically, we don't even really need this little cute piece of Bowden tube, but we'll see where they tell us to stick it. Alright, so... Mineral list. Alright, so we're going to have to take the bottom off. And not because that's how you're supposed to put the printer together, but because of this. So these two holes right here are supposed to be right here so I can screw up through them into the frame. Not off to a good start when they haven't even assembled their own printer right. They've obviously put this plate on backwards. So we're going to have to get into it, turn it around in order to do anything. So that's going to be our first step. This hot end is really heavy and it's dragging me over here. So we're going to set everything down on the bed. Hopefully we don't compress the springs too much. The one tool they did not send is the first one I need, and that is a screwdriver to remove the base plate. I do have one around here, so give me just a moment while I find it. Hopefully. Maybe. Somewhere. It had to be a flathead, huh? Alright, 1 second. We'll get this going. You know, I guess when you manufacture thousands of these things, I can kind of understand putting a plate on backwards once in a while, but it's very, very odd. We'll jump back over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Forgot to transition my camera back. Okay, so what I was saying that you probably missed is the gantry is going to go here, right? These holes are not in the right position. They need to be on this side, so we need to turn this plate around. And I get the feeling that will probably also make this line up a little bit better with the power unit you see there. So let's go ahead and start step -1 here. That's what we're calling it. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to take the feet off too. Probably. Those look like pretty long machine screws. Hello, Andrew. Yeah, it is kind of nice to have a look inside and see what's going on in here. To be honest, with the Anet ET4s, the original, the red ones, you may have seen the video I put up about the switches having malfunctions. So I had to take the bottoms off in order to replace both the switches. They came with a lighted switch that was for some reason, must have had a mercury sensor in it because it would only turn on when the printer was on its side. Replacing those switches fixed that, but I never did put the bottoms back on. In fact, they're sitting over here somewhere, which is probably a bad idea not to put on, but I mean, I don't really have these set on surfaces that I think are flammable, so it's kind of to the point where if it's going to overheat on the bottom and start a fire, it's going to start it whether or not this cover is on here. So, wow, that one's cross-threaded really bad. Okay. Alright, we can get it off now. And since we're taking it off, let's have a quick look inside. Here we are. See the power unit, which I am going to double check and make sure we're at the correct voltage. And you can see everything seems to be connected all right. I hope the connections are tight because they did use hot glue to hold these pieces in. There is okay. This board is actually pretty heavy duty. I mean, there's man, those heat sinks are kind of sick. There are extra plugs in here. There's one for NeoPixel. There is an extra X plugin, an extra Y plugin, and an extra Z plugin, which is interesting because it already has 2 Z's on it. There is a Z-probe connector, a few others actually. I'm not sure what kind of board this is. Doesn't say. But let's see if we can find that switch, and we are on 110, so that's good. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this back on for safety's sake. And look at that, it lines up with the holes. That's amazing. Okay. Progress is progress, guys. Yeah, you know, like I said, I won't hold this against them. Assembly is always a different thing with different printers. So, I mean, I can be kind of understanding if I have to make some adjustments and things like that. The main thing to me is usability and, of course, print quality. This machine has a color LCD touchscreen display, which is a good thing in some cases, and it's kind of a drawback in some cases, because normally with the touchscreen models you don't have the same capabilities as you do with more robust versions of Marlin that come with the knob control. So that is not necessarily entirely true. It depends on the printer itself and what firmware they're using. So we'll take a look and see what sort of extra features they've included with this guy before I go jumping to that conclusion. Oh man. Alright, what's up? Let's see. I know, yeah. It's like Christmas, man. I had to actually, I got this at about 1 o'clock today. Put up a bunch of posts about how we were going to do a live stream, and then I had to leave for like 3 hours. So the whole time I was gone. Actually, okay, yeah, let's just have an announcement now. So, kind of a big deal. My wife went today to the hospital, and no, she doesn't have COVID-19, but she got an ultrasound for our child that is upcoming. So we're going to have another kid. She's about 2 months along now, and this will be our 3rd child together. I pretty much sat there the whole time wishing I was at home playing with my printer. Don't tell her that. I mean, the interesting thing is I want to try to get a hold of, I've seen some people that get the 3D file from the 3D ultrasounds they do, and I'd like to get one and turn it into an STL and make her like a kind of memento. For some reason this hole right here is not lining up. It's the only one. The rest of them went in no problem. And thank you, Corey. Yeah, I am super excited. Don't get me wrong. I didn't mean to take away from that by saying I wanted to come home and see my printer, but I did. Just being honest. Plus, you know, we'll go back for, obviously, you go in, you get checkups, and you'll have a couple ultrasounds. It was nice to see that the baby is healthy and of the right size and shape at the moment, but a little too early to determine the sex just yet, so kind of just double checking that it was in there and that there was only one of them in there. So that was nice. It was a good time. The doctor's actually a good family friend of mine, and we live in a relatively small town where everybody knows everybody. So we waited until we got the absolute confirmation that everything was good today before we went and told anybody. But now that we know everything's all good, I'm happy to say I'm excited. Yeah, Yeah, that is one slow print, huh? 9 months. Let's see here. So I got to jump back over to the instructions real quick. M5 by 12, 4 pieces. That is these guys. All right, so now we can actually start some assembly. This is going to be a little bit tricky as well because of the recess here. I almost... You know, I should have just left the bottom off. Honestly, if you get one, you put it together, and you have to take your bottom off, leave the bottom off, because then you don't have to feed through this hole to get your gantry on there. Let's get some Allen keys. I got the feeling, and hopefully it's not just wishful thinking, but I got the feeling that this should go together pretty simply in the long run. So, ooh, that popped right in. Good deal. Okay. This guy. This stuff already being attached is convenient because I don't have to wire everything, but it's kind of getting in my way at the moment, so it's a little annoying too. All right, pull that. Maybe it would make sense, now this isn't how their directions go, but maybe it would make sense to do the side brackets first and then screw in from the bottom, because then I wouldn't have to sit here and hold it. But I guess I like doing things the hard way. You know, my 6-year-old, the first part of him I saw was, my wife laughs at me because I was immediately yelling, "That's a sack." Not to be crude, but it was. My wife's father, sadly, and it's been about 4 years now, passed away. We weren't really planning on having any more kids, but like Bob Ross says, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents, right? So we're kind of hoping for a boy because she would like to name him after her dad, and I'm very cool with that. He was a great guy. Really miss him. He was never around when I got my 3D printer, and he would have loved this stuff, man. He would have just totally nerded out with me and been all over this, so. Not sure. So these are kind of short, 12 millimeters long enough to go in there, of course. But obviously they don't think it's enough support because they have that side plate. And I'll show you just a second here how that goes on. But I've never seen one that mounted from the bottom and the sides, so it's kind of interesting. After this one is in and tight, we should be able to set the printer down and actually start making some progress. So there we are, nice and snug. Make sure we don't set it down on the hot end here. All right. So let's get my Z's plugged in while I'm here. No, you guys can't see this, but it is just a simple 4 to 6 plug. Just pops right in. Boom. There we go. Right. So, which way do we want to go with this? This is obviously the X motor. 2 plugs for end stops. Yes, okay, so 1 do we're gonna jump back over and just peek at this real quick. Spool holder's next. No, it's not. Z motor, Z motor. Filament detector. Wait for that. Oh, so this okay, so they have a runout sensor. This actually goes into the frame and comes out down here. So there's no extra cordage there. Brilliant wire management. I will give them that. Let's see what else we have here. Page 10. I need to zoom out because I can't even see half of this crap. Okay. Filament holder installation. I need that. Axis adjustment. 100 millimeters. And 4x8. Sorry guys, I'm just making sure that I'm not doing this wrong here. So this is going to mount right here. Let's get that bad boy on there. I need another Allen key here. Make sure I get the right ones too. They got some funky screws in here, so. These instructions are not the clearest. It's not, well, it's not really telling me anything I need to know. But I guess I'll give him an E for effort. Let's see, what do I have 3 of? That might help. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, those are spares. There we go. So it's gotta be these guys. Make sure I got the right Allen key. I think I need this one. Anybody else have like the world's largest collection of Allen keys just laying around? Like, I have too many at this point, you know? Like, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, so. Man, this is a really, really heavy hot end. And normally, direct drive extruders, you are putting a lot of extra weight on the X because you do have that extra motor there. I think I need to connect any of that stuff. I think everything's hooked up there. Let's see. Alright. 2 more. Yeah, no doubt, right? Like, I have a bag, a literal bag full of them somewhere. And, yeah, it's just crazy. I know that you you need them when you get a printer, but I don't need so many. luckily, these don't require locking nuts. We'll get these side guys on now too. The printer did come, if you didn't see when I had the card open, the printer did come with Kira. Printed, adjusted. Yeah. I actually do. Just 2 though, not a ton. One short one and one longer one, but they're not really... They're not bad. They work pretty well. Alright. So, we're coming together now. Still have some connections to make. Still need to mount this thing, which it's not saying in the instructions where. But it's got to go somewhere around here. So this is for the X. We'll plug that in. And then it does have a name on it, which I assume is going to go probably right here over the belt cover. That looks about right. Deal with that in just a second here. 2 short ones, and then we'll be done with this side. We'll jump over to the other side. We are really, really close. It's actually, once you kind of figure out where the pieces go, the assembly is pretty simple. I wish the directions were a little bit clearer, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to lie, I wish some of these holes lined up a little better too. Maybe that's just... Oh, there we go. That's a little better. There we go. Don't be cross-threading. Go in straight. There we go. Nope. Try that again. Wow. Well, Sarge, this is not a Prusa. Nah, I don't do benchies too much. I did do one on the Delta as a video, and I do them once in a while. I've been putting off testing that new engine benchmark you keep hearing about, but I honestly think that that would be a much better benchmark test than the traditional benchy, because you can kind of get an idea of your tolerance, and it has a little bit of moving part action to it, so that I think is a little bit better gauge of how well the printer is running. So maybe barking up the wrong tree here. Let's try this. Well, I'm reserving my judgment of this printer until I see it print. You can probably kind of guess what my impressions are so far. Not too bad, obviously. Like I said, assembly is always it's different on most machines. I will say this. A lot of times, you get a new machine from a different company you haven't tried before, and it is just an exact knockoff of an Ender 3 or the Prusa Mark II style printer, which makes it easier to know how to put it together. But it is nice to see people trying new things and doing their own things. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I don't really print benchies. It's just like printing a temperature tower, I guess. I mean, it has its place. You know, printing an overhang test, yeah, I'll print one to see how steep of an overhang I can get. But those aren't really something I do with every printer. I'll print a temperature tower just to get an idea of how far off the printer is running from the temperature that it says. because I have some plastics that I know what range they do the best in, and it's a good gauge for, say, the Ender 3 is always between 5 and 8 degrees cooler than it says it is on my hot end. Now, that's not necessarily your hot end, but I will tell you that odds are good that yours is at least 3 to 5 degrees cooler than it says it is too. I don't know why they run like that. Right, and that's what I mean, is I have a couple of go-to filaments that I use all the time, because that makes it so I don't have to double check or print a temperature tower every time I get a new spool. So if I get a new brand or something like that, then yeah, I'll check it out. But I don't really do too much adjusting. We had this conversation the other day about adjusting E-steps on a new printer, and really you shouldn't need to unless you change a lot of things right away. That should be set. In some cases it's not. On the Ender 3 Pro I did need to recalibrate the E-steps, but the conversation we were having is that the minute difference in tolerance in your filament, that plus or minus 0.05 or 0.03 or whatever you're running at, is going to lead to a slight difference in your flow rate as well. The difference is usually negligible, meaning you don't need to worry about it. But if you do want really precise, accurate, and beautiful prints, then sometimes when you switch to a new filament and you're not sure of the tolerance, checking the E-steps is a good idea. There's a lot of stuff that I think is overdone. Bed leveling is one of them. Obviously you need your bed to be level, but if you have to re-level your bed between every print, I think you're doing something wrong. It kind of depends on the printer as well, though. So that Ender 3 V2, like I said, before I put all those mods on there, I hadn't leveled that guy once. The initial level, and that was it. And it's still running pretty sweet. So I did re-level it after I changed the wheels on the bottom. But since then, I haven't touched it again. There's the other one. I don't have anything to tap this thing out with, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we got here. Hey, it's going in there. Right. Okay. All right. Almost there, folks. And it's definitely cross-threaded, and there's nothing I can do about it because it is not lined up with the hole properly. So we're going to tighten it down and hope for the best. When you have 4 holes in a T-bracket and 3 of them are in as far as they will go, there is no room for adjusting for that last one. I mean, there's no, even if I unscrewed everything and tried screwing them in slowly, this one is going to be off no matter what. It's just the hole wasn't put in the exact right place. Let's see here. This printer runs, I believe, right around the 230, 240 range. We'll take a look at some links in a little bit and see how we feel about it. Just get my end stop, pop that back on there. Looking like a printer. I do really like the cable management that I'm seeing so far. It seemed kind of funky at first, but there's pretty much no way anything can get pinched or pulled. That is nice. So let's see here. Get this bottom guy in.
Then we will need to make an adjustment to the Z. And let's just roll under their ears. Man. What an awkward position. Let's try this again. We'll try going in this way this time. Ah, the struggle is real with this thing, man. Jesus. Good Lord. Could you have given me a shorter screw for a frickin'... Okay, I'm really, really close to just, you know, winging it and watching this thing rattle itself to pieces. There. All right. For the sake of honesty, that was the single most annoying assembly I have ever done on a 3D printer. And I built that Tevo Tarantula Pro from frickin' scratch. So let's hope this thing prints like a beast. Spool holder goes right here above the filament sensor. There we go. Alright, now I do have to check the manual one last time because the last thing we need to do is adjust the Z-axis so it is 100 millimeters off of the bed. X-axis adjustment, huh? Okay, so we're going to do bust out 100 millimeters here. And what we're measuring is from here to the bottom of the bed. So it says to put it on there and using the lead screw adjust it to 100 millimeters. So that's pretty close. Okay, now this plug goes here. Maybe, come on. There, all right. Now, so let me get rid of this box here.
some little fuzzy junk in the gears of the extruder. I don't like that. Yeah. It's caught me off guard too. This is actually direct drive, and I'm not sure. This must just go into here. Must just be extra for lining this piece right here. Because that's the only place where there's PTFE at all. So remove some of this stuff. We'll get the printer off of the cardboard and see what this thing does when we turn it on. Alright, there's that. There's that. There's this. Throw this over here. And away with the box. I'll clean that up later. Alright, no, I'll just pick it up now. This is another thing that I will never have to buy ever again. Little baggies that stuff comes in. I got a box full of those too. Alright, I think everything is hooked up. Should we turn it on? Does that look crooked to you? That looks crooked to me. Well, we shall see. It's telling me to make an adjustment to the X as well, which is odd because I don't really see anything that needs to be adjusted. Belt is tense. Everything's looking pretty good. So let's plug it in. And I want to thank all you guys for stopping by and hanging out. I know this isn't an Mingda3d D2 or a Prusa Mini, so not as exciting as some of the bigger name printers you might see out there, but very excited to check this out. I just noticed this says 230 by 230 by 260. Which I didn't realize it was a little bit taller. It doesn't seem like it, but okay. All right, moment of truth, guys. You tell me what you see on the screen. There is power. Dude, kind of digging the LED light. Simple RGB LED. It's kind of rocking through a color transition. Stupid thing to be excited about, though. Isn't going to help the printer print at all, but looks really cool. So, props for aesthetics. I was going to bust out a package of 3D Best Q because I got some white, but as I've told you before, and you probably may well know, white hides errors really well. What's the BV? What do you mean, man? So I'm not going to use the white. I'm going to use this first because if there are any issues, I want to be able to see them. This is super smooth filament. 1 second, guys. I got a kid knocking on my door, and I better make sure that everybody's still alive. So hang in there. I will be right back. If I don't knock everything over and break it. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Daughter just got home from volleyball practice. Wanted to let me know she's got a game tomorrow and was going to be late getting home. It's nice of her to let me know. And my son thinks that I need to feed him. So we'll make dinner in a little bit. He's eating an apple for now. Build volume, okay. 230 by 230 by 260. Like I said, I was surprised that it was 260. It's kind of an odd
extra 10 millimeters. But whatever gets you that advantage over the other guys, right? So obviously, this is going to work out fine on the spool holder. There's a really tiny hole up here for the filament. I feel like this is probably going to end up shaving some stuff. We're going to have to cut. I have to cut an angle in this guy. There we go. All right. I am not sure when I fire this up. Yeah, man. No, this is the extruder right here, yeah. Yeah, it's slightly bigger than the Ender 3. Taller. That thing says it's 230 by 232. I measured it. It's closer to 220, but they give you that extra, and they're doing it here too, where the mat hangs over the edge, and then they count that as print space, which I guess whatever. Nothing's on fire yet. It's impossible to see if I'm in the extruder process, though. I'm gonna have to turn this a little bit. Make sure that I'm... All right. So, we need to get the card. We're going to start up a print. Hang in there, give me just a second to get reorganized here. Pull the SD. Whoops, no, back. Oh, we're going to do away with that annoying beeping noise real quick. Put this guy in. Back. That out of the way. All right. Pretty interesting graphical interface here. And I'm going to swing around to the front. We will fire up a print, and while it runs, I'm probably going to have to go make dinner here real quick, but we'll turn on some music and keep an eye on the progress. Let's see what's on here. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in here. Apologize for the mad motion. Yeah, you see that LED in there? Kind of sick, actually. All right. A lot of glare on that screen. I know it's hard to see. It is full color and actually pretty nice looking. So let's see. Let's hit the menu button, and we'll home it before we do anything else. Smooth and quiet. I like that. Very, very quiet so far. We are right on the corner of our bed. It's not bad. Okay, so steppers disabled? No. So we need to Dude. Like I said, stupid thing to get excited about, man. But apparently, yeah, there it goes. It should change to green next, and then it should shut off. You can either turn the LED completely off, or you can select the color yourself. It doesn't seem to be turning off like it's supposed to. We'll deal with that later. Shutdown button, screen, rotate. Manual. No? Okay, we'll do it that way. Increase the increment. Okay, so need to get this guy leveled out, and to do that I'm gonna need a handy dandy piece of paper, because I haven't hooked up an ABL and I'm not doing it right now. So let's see, slide right under there. Okay, and let's go. Alright, you know what? I hated putting this thing together. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. I like it already. I really hope that it gets some awesome prints, because it's a pretty unique little printer, actually. I think that's about as level as it's going to get, guys. Let's back it up. And I'll get out of the light here. Apologies for running in front of the camera. Let's see what they have on the card. Oh man, I gotta get you a better view of this. This is gorgeous. Okay, so STLs, G-code, Kira. Alright, so I have 5 files. The first one says cartoon Halloween something. There is another one that says cartoon. There's one that says crystal, one that says hubba, and one that says Julie. So, what do you think? Should we try the Halloween print or what? See how fast she heats up here. Yeah, this screen, I really like this screen. A lot of the features that I'm seeing in here are pretty interesting as well. Adjust the speed, the flow. Very nice. It's another feature that I really enjoy. I first experienced this on my Delta, but the Ender 3 version 2 also has it, and that is the baby step on the Z. So while you're printing your first layer, you can use the baby step to adjust to get the perfect amount of squish to ensure that you still have adhesion, but you're not too close or too far from the bed. So as long as the bed is leveled, you're good to go on that. looks like the bed is now to temp. Starting to heat the extruder. Apparently this plastic runs at 185. We'll see how well that works out. Let's see. Oh, and it does tell me when I try to change the LED, it says busy processing, please wait. And I assume that by that it means that it's heating, which means it's running the code to heat it right now and won't do anything else until it's ready to go. Hot end's actually heating pretty fast, almost to 185. The bed did take a while to heat up. Altogether, the preheat process, 50 on the bed, 200 on the hot end. Ooh, it's still going up. Got about 2 minutes to heat up. We're at 210 now. Should be close to ready to start printing. We'll see if it homes and what happens. I really enjoy the assembly and watching the first prints. Watching the first prints is probably my favorite part because it gives me a lot more time to chat with you guys. Now it dropped back down in temperature. And there it is. Okay, 3 minutes. Stop overheating. There we go. Now we're starting to get, it's going to home and it should start printing. And we may have to start this process all over again because, as I said, I can't see how well that filament is in there, and I couldn't push it any harder to see if it was coming out while it was cold. I guess I could have preheated it and made sure it was inserted properly, but we're going to find out right now. Let's see if it's getting any. No, and it's not moving. Alright, I gotta adjust the filament here. And I think actually that I want that behind there. So. Alright. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Extruder motor is plugged in. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so far this thing has shown me no mercy. Let's see. Just want to make sure there's nothing blocking the pathway because I cannot get that filament to go in any further even with it heated up. So... we'll get there eventually, guys, for sure. Let's see. Doesn't help me see at all. Let's try it. There we go. Hang on 1 second, guys. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. so. Hell, this stuff is. Ah, there's plastic in the hot end. Perfect. Why would you do that to me? I think I got a little jam there. I think I just unclogged it, but we'll find out. Maybe. Oh, we have extrusion. All right. Why is the filament coming out green? So many weird things are going on today. So many weird things. Okay, so let's try this whole printing thing one more time and see if we can actually get something off of this beast. So like I said, I'm really hoping it works out because I have enjoyed a lot of the features. Holy cow, just stringing away. Okay. Just get right into a print before it gets any worse. Overflowing. Alright, now we gotta wait till it's back at temp. It is pretty close. Bed's got 3 more degrees to go. And we might actually get a print off this thing today. We'll see. Alright, here we go. Seems to be coming out really smooth. I know it makes it hard to see with that LED there. Looks like we are printing a raft. So, probably should have micro stepped that down a little bit. It's not very squished. But it is flowing really nicely and coming out really well. So we are going to go ahead and I'll kick on some music. We'll let this print run. I gotta go make the family some dinner here. I think it's pasta night before my son's stomach crawls up his throat and goes to find something to eat for itself. And obviously we'll be checking in. I'll have my phone on me in the kitchen, so we will be keeping an eye on it together and chatting. I will be there. So stick around, or at least maybe leave this running in the background, come and check on it in a little bit, and we'll see how things go. Let's get some tunes.
Bye.